Hey everybody, welcome to Speaking of Schmoedown, a sports talk show devoted to the movie trivia Schmoedown. I am Jay Wade, as usual, and once again we've got our host. Our stats guy who does host his own stats segment here called Sexy Numbers. Double D, Dan Dolinsky. How you doing, man?
Hey man, I'm happy to be here. It's been an exciting week. Ready to talk some Schmoedown and happy to talk to you guys about it.
Yeah, I'm happy that my hair has gotten to the length to where I feel comfortable not wearing a hat because it's just long enough that if I push it forward enough, it covers the little bald patches. So it's not too bad. So I'm in a great place right now. ASG joining us. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. I got my own bald patch to worry about. So
yeah. And truth be told, I just wanted to look the best I could for your magnificent refrigerator.
There you go.
This isn't your full crew, though, guys. We've got someone who's not been on the show here for a while now. I've missed him very much. And ladies and gentlemen, you know him. You love him. He is the one and only Chris Anthony Lopez, guys. All right.
Yo, that's hot. That's hot. Yo, what's good, y'all? Happy early Halloween. Happy to be back on Speaking of ASG, Double D, Jay Wade, Frenchie in the back. What's good?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're looking good, man. You're looking good. And
Frenchie in the back should always be like that.
No, okay, Frenchie.
Oh, my gosh.
I always gotta put on a collared shirt for you, Jay Wade. And I feel like I set the bar so high, I gotta live up to it, you know?
Well, that originated that time. You came on like straight up. I don't think it was a tux, but it was a suit, and I was like, damn.
It was. Who was on the show that day? Was it Brandon?
Robert Parker.
Robert Parker.
Yeah,
Right.
That's right.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Oh,
I was like, dude, that's a sharp dressed man. And now every time I see you on screen, I hear that song in my head. That's the truth too.
You're
no
bullshit.
bullshit.
Jay Wade. You're too kind, man.
Thank you very much. Welcome to the show, everybody. As usual, we're going to start off with our game of hot matches. It is hot potato style game where we just talk about the week's matches. And Frenchie's backstage there with a little timer. When that timer goes off, he will eliminate whoever is talking. That means they are removed from the screen. We'll do that until one person is left and the consequences and rewards come into play in the interview. Who is with Gold Leader today? So, okay, Alex Damon and Nikki DiMolanta. I kind of want to start us off with a question on this one. Was that, dude, did we just see the end of Alex Damon in Star Wars Division?
Not the end, but I think we've seen the end of him having this allure of the unbeatable Alex Damon in that match.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat because when he faced against Molly, I said he is not as dominating when he had the belt. And unless he gets better, Nikki's going to beat him really easily. Well, obviously it wasn't as easy, but she definitely ranked up some points by the end.
It was 1 point from a TKO.
Yeah. So
times are changing.
Yeah.
This isn't the same Star Wars that Alex Damon's so used to competing in, you know? And to me, this match, upset of the year. Nikki DiMolanta, who started playing in the back half of the season, bested a guy who had a chokehold over Star Wars for years. This is a statement win for her. And I know we're going to talk to her future opponent in a little bit, but Nikki DiMolanta, hell yeah, hats off.
I didn't realize until now that it really was going to end up being true that this rookie class is, and the question writing mainly really, but along with the rookie class of Star Wars players have stepped this division up. I think it's like I was saying last week with some of the vets from like regular singles divisions and Inner Geekdom, some of the vets haven't kept up with the advancement of the game, and that's fine. It happens, but I think maybe this might be the season where we're starting to see the beginning stages of Star Wars division vets not keeping up with the game or not being able to, based on many factors. But I'd say mainly the quality of the question writing has gone up immensely and so difficult, and also just the people and the knowledge that they have.
Yeah, and I also think it's about the type of questions. Is that he's mostly a Dragon Con studying type thing, and he missed those casting questions, which is questions you wouldn't get for Dragon Con.
Yeah, I think it's just in the next season he's gonna study on what he missed on, and he's gonna be. I think he's gonna get better, but I think gone are the years of Alex having that chokehold, like Chris has just said, that he's just completely dominant. I think this is opening up to further Star Wars experts to come in and really bringing their knowledge to the Schmoedown.
And the quality of gameplay has jumped up leaps and bounds since the beginning of not only this year, but the Star Wars tournament last year, where we saw Andrew DiMolante become the star he was, or sorry, he is. Ace Cabrera become the star he is. Star Wars has grown so much, and this is coming from a guy who didn't like the Star Wars division too much before last year's tournament. I know.
Dude, crazy.
Yeah. I
You're
know,
nuts.
dude, but that tournament made me change my mind. Star Wars is a staple of the league now, and just going into next year with fewer Star Wars matches is going to be a real kick to the ego, not only for the people competing, but for us watching.
Do you think? Do we think that the move to digital for Star Wars is going to make it? Is going to help it? I don't know. Do you think it'll get less popular or less views, or do you think it'll help it get more, or do you think it'll just kind of stay the same? I mean, this is a really hard one to say. You know, it's one of those you got to wait and see really before you have a good solid idea.
I think it will grow because we're seeing more YouTuber Schmoedown, like Star Wars related people in the Schmoedown, and I think that's going to be kind of like cross over pollination basically, and we're just going to keep growing. The Schmoedown is going to keep growing in viewers because of that.
Yeah, I can see that for sure. By the way, everybody, we are almost at 300 subscribers here on this channel. So if you're not already subscribed, please go over and hit that button. We're 4 away. So let's turn this into a Schmoedown show / 300 subs party today. Okay, let's we might.
Oh,
okay, Jay.
So let's go to the.
So I think Jay was transitioning into the next match, which is Deception versus King Arthur. So first of all, I would like to say that I had Deception winning this match. So seeing King Arthur just gaining their lead, especially in round 1, I was completely mesmerized by that. So what do you guys think? Do you think that did you have Deception winning, or did you have King Arthur winning this match?
I had it as 50-50. But I really think this puts Deception in peril of, will they break up, because they're on the East Coast, they have a losing record, it's not looking good for them.
I'm in the camp where, I mean, don't get me wrong, on Spin Fin the Real, I'm the resident corruption show, so I'm gonna love corruption, everything they got going on. But Deception, yeah, they're not looking so hot, but it depends on how factions pan out next season. Like it would be dumb to rip them apart willingly, because it's a former singles champ and the current singles champ on the team together. So it'd be ignorant to tear them apart unless you have to. But like what ASU was saying, like they're far away from LA, and it's the worst kept secret that the Schmoedown likes people in California. So who the hell knows? But King Arthur, got to show them their flowers too. Like first time team going into this tournament, they had a great win against Press Room, I believe. And then now here they are with Deception. That's 2 quality teams to have in a teams tournament and take W's in both of them.
And Griffey Newman was just looking dominant as well. I mean, I keep on going back and forth whether or not he's going to win the singles tournament, and he puts in a.
So
Valid.
So we have an issue out of it. So what I will say is that my first criticism of actually seeing them together was I felt like the chemistry between Griffey Newman or Arthur Nooms, whatever wants to go by, and King Khan were kind of disjointed. They were always going really fast and heavy. But this time around, they seem to be on the same page, and I just feel like they're going to be completely dominant going into the finals. What do you think, Chris?
And with them, their first match last time, of course, they were going to try to iron out the kinks. But this time around, they're familiar with one another, and the Finstock exchange is...
Hey, I won one. Won another one.
Awesome.
Good job, Double D.
Well, thank you.
Well, I like it that if Chris loses this game, he never takes it bad because he self-admittedly talks a lot. So
Yeah, I do.
He never takes it personal. He's like, well, fuck, I just talked too much. Before we well, we got more of the time than I was thinking here. But yes,
okay, so I just wanted to go back to what I was talking about with deception breaking up, because I feel like, and because it's not being talked about enough, that compared to the other two teams that we hear about breaking up, and maybe a third team, but we'll talk about that later, is with Final Exam and with Danger Zone, they both have had more success than Deception has had already. And people are talking about them breaking up, and so I gotta talk about Deception breaking up.
Oh no, totally valid.
Yeah. I mean, it is a very valid point, and because there are teams that I feel are better than Deception that King Arthur would not beat. So that's how I kind of approach things. Like, it's like I don't know. It's like if the Reds beat the Dodgers, it doesn't mean they're like they're the best team in the world and they're going to win the World Series. It just means they beat the Dodgers, and the Reds have a decent team. It's their ownership. It's the ownership, dude. Seriously, money.
Wrong podcast.
Also, it's killing me watching this Astros World Series, dude. Come on, Stros, let's do this shit, bitches. But it is killing me, man. Last night, that first game really killed me. Last night was just kind of like,
because I have to. You're feeling the same way the Astros I'm feeling with the Canadians right now. They got so many new acquisitions and we are shitting the shit, man.
Well, I feel for you, Frenchie, and now that I have a comparison and I can relate to you, I won't be so hard on you about your hockey Canadian stuff. But okay, but no, yeah, they're so I was shocked, to be honest, that King Arthur won this. I know they're a good team. You can tell that from their performances so far, but I've always invested a lot into Deception. Well, not just Deception, but both Marisol and Collins individually. So then when they come together, in my mind, I'm like, dude, we got a super team here. And so I can't get around that to look at their opponents in a realistic way that they could win, because I'm just like, dude, ain't nobody beating Superman. You know what I'm saying?
The Deception victory that King Arthur had, like I mentioned it with Nicky DiMolanta and Alex Stamen, like that's a statement victory. To any doubters, I think this is also a statement victory. Like on paper, like that's Marisol McKee, who's currently at the top of the food chain in the Schmoedown, and Adam Collins, who once upon a time was also at the top of the food chain, and that was not too long ago. Let's not act like that was forever ago. But King Arthur, two rookies coming into this, and AC, you're talking about Griffey Nooms. Like, that dude is a monster. He may win the singles tournament. He may win this team's tournament too. And I know we've been talking about Star Wars Rookies of the Year this year. Griffey Nooms may be like, oh, nah, last 3 months of the year, I'm going to take that shit real quick.
Well, if he makes moves like this, forget Rookie of the Year. He might be Player of the Year. Like,
yeah.
And I'll say this, is that, it just seems like Marisol has been the better of the two players in Deception. So I feel that splitting them up would actually do them better.
You all right, Jay Wayne?
Who would you pair her with?
I just noticed that Kiwi Jess is in the chat. Hi.
Hi, Jess Kiwi.
Let me know what your interests and hobbies are.
Jay, leave her alone.
I was picking on her, flirting around with her the other night in there on Schmoes of the North. It was fun. Anyway, sorry, Taco. Okay, sorry about that. I did get completely sidetracked there. Harper is rookie of the. I agree.
Right now.
Yes.
Right now, as of now, yes, I agree with that. Before we, our guests will be here in about 5 minutes. Paulo Yama versus Barbarian. This is another one. Again, I know how good Barbarian is, but I also have a problem in the Schmoedown with people who have been around longer. I'm more familiar with what they can do, so I also have a hard time putting their opponents with lesser experience on their level, which is not experience playing the game has nothing to do with how well you play the game. That's something I'm working on getting over. But I in my mind, there was no doubt that Oyama was going to come away with this win. No doubt whatsoever. What were you thinking, Double D? Were you using any secret number strategy, some math to determine this?
Well, interestingly enough, when I was watching the match and Barbarian says Mr. Numbers has something to say to me, I'm like, Barbarian's talking about me, and then it cuts to Frank James. I'm like, oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. And I don't remember saying anything about Barbarian, but I did have Paulo Yama winning the match, but I figured that it would be somewhat close. I didn't think it was going to be a knockout or a TKO. I thought it was going to go into the final round. But for Barbarian to pull off this win, I'm done. And as we'll talk later, the Finstock Exchange has completely broken my brackets. It's just insane how amazingly they've been winning and beating what I would guess their wins would be. So, I mean, yeah, they're beating me and my own numbers.
Well, on my Shug's tournament special, on Spin from the Real, their channel, I picked Barbarian as my dark horse of the tournament. So, I thought this definitely had a shot.
Yeah, and ASG, you probably had some type of sixth sense with that, because watching what the Finstock Exchange has done, not only in these tournaments, but this whole season, they've proved literally everybody wrong. Everyone, anyone that doubted the Finstock Exchange, and I've said this on Spin from the Real a ton, I'll say it again here, like seeing Go Leader go as far as he has in the Star Wars tournament, seeing Griffey Nooms and King Arthur doing their things in their respective tournaments, and look at their year. They have the best overall record in the Schmoedown, look points aside, and they're continuously proving people wrong, all because they drafted solely rookies, asterisk Taylor Robinson as well,
without any title matches.
Or number one contender matches, really? Right?
Yeah. They have not had any title matches, but we'll get into that later in my segment.
Well, Frenchie don't celebrate yet. Right now, they're still middle of the pack until they, win these tournaments.
Everyone put him last. Like, he's crazy and everything. I don't care if they're middle pack or not. They're doing at a level that no one expected them to do.
Right.
And I've been on, like, since the day one of the draft. Like Jay Wade knows, I've been on their side, believing what they're doing, and they're showing people that they are the fucking team that no one expected to do that good, and they're going to be better next year because they're probably going to fine-tune their techniques. But yeah, it's not over. They can have title shots and they can win titles. So yeah, they're haha.
Yeah.
Well, I would say I did predict this. I said my main problem with the draft that they had was that they were drafting like it was last season's point system. Yeah. And so,
but at the same time, everyone then said, okay, yeah, they're winning, but they won't ever win against veterans. Look what they're doing right now.
And that's just the conversation that everyone had against literally all rookies. Every rookie that came into the season, all the Dragon Con people are like, oh, how are they going to transition the Schmoedown? Oh, I think they've done a pretty good job. And like literally, and our guest today, like he wasn't even in the Dragon Con stuff. My man was doing like the black market Star Wars tournaments and whooping that ass. So like every rookie had a question mark around them. And the Finstock Exchange, who just had the most, they've proven the most people wrong because of their success. Yep.
And speaking of our guest, he is here. But before we bring him on, I do want to say one thing that I admit when I'm wrong. I admit when I'm wrong. I said it, very sternly and very believably, because I did believe it, that Finstock Exchange had the worst draft and that they were going to do absolutely nothing. And everything I said about them was wrong, except for one thing. Everything I said about them from the beginning of the season was wrong. They have proven me wrong. I was wrong. I'm sorry. Great draft. Amazing job this year. I'm fucking stunned. And again, I say this with I honestly, with all respect, and dude, I honestly don't think that their success has much at all to do with Bobby Finstock. I just don't. I'm sorry. I don't mean, and I know, Frenchie, I don't mean this in a rude way. And I'm not saying he's a bad person or if we're talking about a manager of the year, he's never on my list. And I just think that to me, it's clear that Barbarian and Roca are the two people who were running
His
this.
manager style is called dispatching. It's exactly what I do at work.
Delegation.
I'm not good delegation, dispatching, whatever. But it's what I do at work. I recognize the talents because we are the same type of manager. So,
Well, I still, and we were talking about that, and I would like some clarification. I asked Christian, and he didn't respond, which is fine. I mean, who am I? And he's a busy guy. But if anyone does know for sure, if the manager is available to manage, can they still elect to not manage and have someone else fill in for them who has that knowledge base? That's what I want to know. Does the manager have to manage if he's available? Or can he have someone fill in? Okay, guys. Now our guest is here, and this is how our interviews work here. Like I said, we have consequences here, and the rewards. And the reward is that the winner of Hot Matches gets to start the interview off one-on-one with our guest, being gold leader today from the exchange. And second place will join a few minutes later, then third, then fourth. And that's how we do our interviews around here at the Jcast Network. So our winner today is Double D, Dan Dolinsky. Take it away, man.
Well, call and go. Are you standing by? We have him in his house. So how you doing, gold leader?
I'm here. Hello. I'm always down to be on shows. It's really nice that people want to talk to me. So I'm here.
Yeah.
Hello.
So we just talked about Nikki Alex winning over Alex Damon.
Yeah.
I would like to hear your opinion on that match
Yeah.
because we kind of talked about that. We're starting to see Alex not be the dominating competitor that he used to be. Do you share that opinion, or do you have a different take on it?
I think it's luck of the draw. I think a lot of these questions that he got were very unexpected. Even from me, I was like, they're asking this right now. Wow, this is pretty nuts. Some of these people, and even with Nikki, like you can tell, like some of these characters they asked about, like they had never even heard of them. Like, you know, it's I don't think it's any indicator of Alex's talent. I don't think it's any indicator of, you know, his dominance over the league, because he has crushed it for over 2 years. And so I think this last match is no indicator of his skill level, just in the same way that Ace's title match last year is no indicator of his skill level. No.
Well, gold leader, I always love seeing your face. I love talking to you, and seeing your success over the last year, really, and seeing you being a part of the FinStock Exchange, proving all those folks wrong, being the one real big question mark coming into the season because you weren't doing all the Drac and Connie stuff.
Yeah,
and you were withheld from all that. But
I could have been faking all of it, you know. I could have been. faking all
you were in the black
stuff.
market doing them Star Wars trivia matches, dude.
Yeah.
But your win against Laura Kelly, first of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
And how, now that you're going towards the end of the season, you're preparing for now Nikki DiMolanta.
Yeah.
Is this match probably, dare I say it, more important than your match that you had against Thomas Harper earlier this year?
More important, in a way, because here's the thing. I think this is like, there's a lot more weighing on this one than last time. Last time I was like, you know, climbing the tournament and it was all very fast. And so I lost, and then it was like, okay, that's it. It was just like hot. It's a flash in the pan, basically. There's been so much buildup. This has basically been all year leading to this moment. And so, yeah, I feel the weight a lot more this time around. Yeah.
Duly noted, dude.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's that.
So you're playing Nikki DiMolanta in the finals. Do you adjust or study any differently depending on who you play, or is it all just about, you know, every opponent's the same, I just got to study Star Wars?
It's all the same, because I'm not focusing on me. I'm not focusing on, you know, I'm not focusing on them. I'm only focusing on what I know and trying to know the most I can. I barely look at any interviews or with other competitors. I don't really, you know, it's mostly because my time is really valuable to me. So I only look at interviews with myself out of my own ego. But I just, you know, I think it's a waste of time to get caught up thinking about what the other people are doing. I think it's on me to just know. Can I cuss on here, by the way? It's okay.
Yes,
It's up to me to know a ton of shit about Star Wars.
Yeah, man. So what I've taken away from this so far, from what I've heard so far, by the way, or Gold Leader rather, I'm sorry.
Oh no, I really am not offended either way. You call me whatever you want. I like Gold Leader, but Evan is my birthday.
It's nice to meet you, first of all. Thank you very much for joining us. But what I've gathered while I've been listening here is that you are greatly invested in each and every one of your competitors' gameplay. You spend endless hours reviewing their game tape, almost to the point of obsession. And you may or may not have some of them as screensavers on your computer laptop. Did I come away with that correctly?
No, that's absolutely correct. So every single time I play someone, I switch my computer wallpaper. I have a 27-inch monitor, so this thing is staring back at me. It's always the competitor I'm facing that week. So,
I got one more thing I want to get to the bottom of here real quick. Yeah. How many bags have you already packed for LA for Spectacular in your upcoming match against Thomas Harper?
I'm a light packer, so I'll say that. I have a carry-on. My mom knows me. My mom, she talks a lot of shit on Facebook, but she knows me and she loves me enough to get me. She got me this carry-on bag. It has the entire crawl of A New Hope on it.
Oh, wow.
So if you see that in baggage claim, you know that Gold Leader is there. You know that he's there.
Right.
And that's basically all I pack. My hair is kind of a mess right now, but I pack a lot of hair stuff.
Well, that's funny you brought that up, because that's actually a little bit of a segue into something else. This is not a question as much as an observation that I'm being made this week. I was searching around on the YouTube, as I usually do, and just looking for random videos. There's some show on A&E about WWE, and they go and they find old relics and old items from famous matches and stuff. They track it down. Dude, they were looking for Honky Tonk Man's guitar that he broke over Jake the Snake's back. And I was like, dude, if you weren't already Gold Leader, you could be like the Honky Tonk Man Schmoedown. That hair is
Thank you. Yeah.
Do we have to go looking for your jacket?
I was about to say, some people are going. So here's the thing. I don't know what I'm going to end up doing with this. If I end up being a big enough presence in the Schmoedown where people really give a shit about me and want my signature on stuff, that's crazy to think about, first of all. But I just changed jackets. I'm not wearing the same jacket anymore. It looks very similar. It's lighter and it's not as tight. People keep talking shit about my extra medium jacket, and I'm tired of it. All right, so I got a better fitting jacket, because there's a lot of them in the Halloween stores these days, folks. So maybe one day I'll do great. I'm gonna auction this shit off for $5, the original jacket. It's got my sweat in it, so
all right.
You can take the DNA and clone.
Yeah, you guys can clone.
Exactly.
Yeah, somehow Gold Leader returned. That's
Bonjour, Gold Leader. Happy to talk to you.
Hey, man.
Now, that being said, I want to introspect a bit. From your first experience being, excited to talk about Star Wars and answer Star Wars, but maybe not that familiar with Schmoedown, to, advancing it so far and having really eyes on you, right? Could you describe me that journey between then and now, President?
Yep. It is a constant battle with my ego. I am really, so here's the thing. Like I said, I read every single comment about me. I watch every single review of my matches, every single reaction. Anyone who makes reactions to my matches, I'm watching. Just know that that's the case. I love hearing people talk shit. I love hearing people praise me. I don't really, as long as it's about me, that's the ego thing. And I can't get enough of it. So that's been a really big personal conflict, because it's miserable paying so much attention to yourself, but I can't help it. It's like I'm eating these potato chips over and over, and it's killing me. It is killing me, but I can't. You can't have just one. You know, that's been my journey. But no, I've loved it though. I've loved being able to just go on and like. Now I have concrete evidence to point to that says I know this about Star Wars. No one knows this about me. It's like I go to parties and things safely during COVID times. I go safely. But
Right.
no one in these parties knows that I'm like a goddamn Star Wars genius. So it's exciting. It's really funny. But yeah, so
I'm guessing you haven't had like Numbers has sometimes someone randomly in the street saying, "Oh my God, you're this person."
Right.
How long do
Not
you think
quite.
it's gonna take?
I will say I don't even like to put this into the ether, but regardless, I'm going to Spectacular. I'm gonna be there even if I'm not competing there, and I'm hoping that one like starry-eyed kid comes up and asks for a signature. That might be high hopes, but I think that'll be kind of fun. Who knows?
Wouldn't it though?
Yeah.
Dude, he'll get there for sure, man. For
I don't
sure.
know.
I'm still shocked that you only packed one bag. I mean,
Yeah.
it's got to be empty. Where else are you going to put the title belt at?
All I wear, no, I'm gonna wear it on the plane. That's where you're mistaken.
Baller.
Yeah, so I pack one T-shirt, one pair of pants, and my jacket, and that's that and my hair stuff. That takes up the rest of the suitcase. But that belt's gonna be on my waist, fellas.
Security, dude, they ain't even going to mess with you. They're going to see that fucking hair, the magnificent hair, and the
gonna
jacket.
puff out my chest.
Yeah.
When I walk through the TSA gates, and they're just gonna. All right, yeah, that's it.
All right, Gold Leader, I'm off. I'm going to go back down, but thank you
Take it
again
easy
as
until our
always.
paths cross again, my friend.
Or to have to endure you and Taco's conversations, but yeah. All right,
fun with that.
good job, bro.
Hey, and
See you, man.
speaking of that, Gold Leader, tell Taco that if you guys would do that show shorter than 3 fucking hours, I'd probably be on it.
I really, really try and get us to cut down. It's hard, Mark and I are both Taco. I call him Mark. I don't,
His government name.
Yeah, I call him by his legal name. Oh, there he is. He's in the chat. He and I are very talkative people. I'm a person, when you get me on the phone, just know that the conversation is going to last a while. Not because I'm not saying this about our podcast. Don't get me wrong. But during those hour-long conversations, generally speaking, unless you're like one of my best friends or you're one of my really close relatives, I'm in agony. I'm trying to get off the phone like 10 seconds into the conversation, but it just can't happen with me. I don't know why. I ramble.
You're preaching to the choir, man. You're preaching to the choir.
It's shitty, but phone calls are hard. Podcasts are hard because I always end up going longer than you think. So we're very guilty of that.
Yeah. I'll get on there one of these days, though, for sure.
Yes.
I mean, especially with the.
You're implying that we'd invite you after what you said about Bobby
I've
Gucci.
been invited before, but I've been, to be
Not
honest,
anymore, apparently.
I've been waiting till after Spectacular because I don't want to. I mean, dude, I love Thomas Harper, but I asked him to do a show for me, and are you
shit.
serious?
Well.
Oh
What do we
God.
have here? Tweedledee, Tweedledum, Tweedledummer, Tweedledummest, and Tweedle
And Gold Leader.
Dummel. No, it's all you. The rest.
Who
No.
am I?
I got words for Jay Wade for tricking me into thinking that this was some meeting about another match reaction. But I heard you while I was backstage trying to contain my anger that I had once again been tricked into coming on to this dumb show for a false premise. And I heard you talking about reviews of your matches, and I couldn't help but have to offer you up one because you and I haven't talked since that Laura Kelly match. So here's my quick review. Don't worry, Jay Wade, it won't take long. Good luck in the finals. That's all I have to say.
Man, get that. You know what this is like? This is like we're intercepting a transmission from Cobra Commander, and he just shows up on the fucking monitor, and he's just a bit like people.
A major outranks a Cobra or a
okay,
Commander.
Yeah, no, just a Cobra. That's the thing. That's the thing.
Both.
People view me as the villain in this dynamic. I think people got it twisted, folks. I think I am the righteous golden boy hero that's going to bring justice to this league. And this guy down here, folks, is a chump.
Somewhere at YouTube headquarters, they're having to devise a new warning for viewers that whenever a Finstock player, and especially Gold Leader, is on the screen, it's adverse to your mental health. So click watch and beware because you're going to lose some brain cells in the process.
No, it's adverse to your mental health because you might learn way too much shit watching me do what I do best. That's all I got to say about that one. Thomas,
your videos are never going to be wheeled in on the TV cart to third graders learning to spell. We'll just agree.
Thomas,
on
the
that
only
much.
thing you got going on right now is reacting to my matches. Do you understand what's going on here?
What can I say? I booked my ticket to Spectacular in August. I'm happy to hop in a match, but Christian won't listen to me. He said, hold your horses until the big one. So here I am.
There might be a scrap in Los Angeles, folks, December 4th. There might be. It might get bloody. There might be scratches.
Has the belt ever been used to strike another human being? It might.
Well, another human being has used it on himself. But
Like Happy Gilmore style, I'll be the first guy to take off his skate and try to stab a guy with.
To pull my shirt over my head. Like,
Oh my god.
oh my god.
It would be worth it. I would be out of the league, blacklisted. But you know what? The
You would have gone
get what
down
they
in a
want.
blaze of glory, folks.
The people would
And
have what they want.
Just for the record, Thomas, I didn't intend to trick you. I just didn't think that you would even enter the meeting to talk to me about it if you thought that it.
Let me read the DM here. Jay Wade. Yo, are you free tomorrow for a few minutes? Want to talk the reaction video? The last one was really good. Know you had a bad time with it, but maybe you'll try again. No mention of any of this on the screen here.
Yeah, no mention of. I was totally in the dark on this too. I should have expected it. I should have expected some bullshit like this to happen and come and ruin my day, but I didn't. I foolishly was like, "Oh, they're going to talk about me. Let's go on." No, bring in
this is going to sully all the Star Wars that I have to deal with for the rest of today. So
Yeah.
I appreciate you. Yeah. You found a way to ruin Star Wars for me in some small
no,
bit.
see,
so
I
good.
do that for a lot of people. I'm glad you could be among the ranks. But when I beat Nikki, I want you to know that I will not be stopped. I will not stop until I have the belt.
The gate. You're gonna have a gate letter on your flight on your ticket. Yeah. You're not gonna know the difference between A, B, C, and D. You'll never make the flight to LA.
Right.
I hope you bring Taco as an assistant to just get you on the right plane.
My wife is coming.
The whole
my
house
wife's
of
coming
cards.
with me. She's gonna guide me to the right port. I'm gonna be on the correct plane. This is no Home Alone situation.
You and I are alike in one regard, and that's that we batted well above our average with our respective wives. So I'll give you that much. You're lucky in life to have that and to have her. But beyond that, I wish you all the bad things in the world.
Yeah, go to hell. Go to hell.
Well, that was unexpected. Thomas, we're going to have to move on here with the show. But before you do go, on a serious note, though, can we have a meeting later on to talk about you doing another reaction video for the channel?
Fine. This one, I will have the largest bottle of champagne that's sold at a store ready for the moment in which you go down in flames, Gold Leader.
Yeah,
the
Thomas
major
is
will be
busting out
celebrating.
The big bucks to get that $12 bottle of champagne, folks. Come and watch.
The major.
Come see it happen.
Hey, the bubbles are bubbles. The money spends, and it's worth it for you, my friend, to see you go down in flames. I'll see you in LA, but perhaps not in the way that you expect.
I'll see you in hell, fella.
Oh, okay, guys. That was the current Star Wars title champ right there, Thomas Harper.
In name only, folks.
Man,
in name only.
Your first time on this show, Gold Leader, and he just came in, and second time.
I was about to say, I think we've met. I think we have met officially before. But you meet a lot of people, I don't blame you.
I'm special. I mean, to be honest, dude,
Now, sorry, we love you. We remember all times you've been with us. Come on again.
Yes. Thank you. Wow. Is he gone? Is Joey
I know
gone?
I'm not an official host of this show,
There he
at least
is.
on a weekly basis, but Goal Leader, was a pleasure talking to you again, brother.
Oh, thank you so
I
much.
love seeing you.
Oh wait. So, hang on. I think I'm okay. Wait, no, I'm all set. I don't know what the fuck I'm even saying right now. I thought I had like a closing remark, but I just start. See, this is why my phone conversations take so long.
That's all right. Did we just see Thomas Harper get under the skin of Gold Leader, everybody? Let's wait and find out.
He lives rent free in my head, I gotta say. But come December, he's not going to be more than an afterthought, folks.
Oh,
You heard it here first. All right.
That is Gold Leader, everyone. Thank you very much for your time, sir. Good luck in your upcoming match. And we will see what happens there. Right now, though, everybody, it is time for...
I'm going to talk dirty to you for a second. Math.
Oh, yeah, Double D, sexy numbers.
Oh.
What do you got for us this week, Dan?
I don't know if I can do my segment, but I'm going to do my best of my ability. So, Chris, you're on me with today. So
yeah, let's do it.
We haven't done a forecast. Oops, sorry. Oops, sorry.
You're good,
Press
man.
the wrong button. I'm a little disjointed today. So we haven't done a forecast and a monthly review in a while. So I figured since it's the end of the month, we do it. It's perfect timing. So 2 things off the bat. Usually we do. I usually do the first place faction, and then I go down the list. We're going to reverse the order. So we're going to start with the last faction first, and then we're going to go up. Second thing is that while my forecasts include spectacular numbers, my guesses at what may happen going into spectacular doesn't. So you'll pick up on what I'm trying to mean as we go forward. So up first is the Stars. When we last look at them, they had 26 points because of Alex Damon winning the Star Wars tournament. Obviously, that is no longer the case because Alex is out of the Star Wars tournament. And the only person left in any tournaments is Janine the Machine. And she's facing Mike Kalinowski. Personally, I think Mike is going to win. And therefore, I think the Stars are going to be stuck at 19 points going into Spectacular. But of course, they're not going into Spectacular. Swag, last time we looked at them, I said that they'd be around 27 points going into Spectacular. But as of right now, they have no one else in any tournaments. They have no one in Spectacular. However, there is some debate on whether who's going to get Paulo Yama's win from the free-for-all. Is it going to be Paul or is it going to be Chandru? I personally think it's going to be one of those two, but it's going to happen at Spectacular. We're going to get a triple threat match in either IG or singles. That's my personal opinion.
I like that.
So right now, going into Spectacular, they're going to have 24 points. That's what they're currently at. But if that happens, then it's going to be at 31 points, what I think is going to forecast at Spectacular. With the Den, last time we looked at them, they had 41 points. But I didn't think that the old guard was going to advance in the teams tournament, and turns out I was right because now they dropped down from 41 points to 40 points, and the only thing they have left is Thomas Harper defending the Star Wars belt, obviously, as we just saw. And finally, we have the usual suspects. Last time we looked at them, they had 57 points. I had made a correction from last time. I said 58. It's actually 57. But as of last night, they won. And I didn't think that they were going to make any points early on. But Dicky Dumoulin defeated Alex. That pushed them up to 60 with the knockout last night. They lost 1 point, so they're currently at 59 points. So the only 2 players in this faction that's going forward is Nikki Demolanta and Paige Forbetti. Personally, I think Griffey Nooms is going to win against Paige, and I think Gold Leader will win against Nikki. So I think going in Spectacular, they're going to end up, for the remaining of the season, I think they're going to be at 59 points, so long as they don't get TKO'd or knocked out. So, Chris, do you agree with my assessment, or do you have a different opinion?
I mean, the only thing that I really took, I don't want to say, well, there's 2 things. One, with you have Mike beating Janine. That's pretty bold, especially with the year Janine's having.
Yeah.
And then I wouldn't be. I love Gold Leader, but let's not be so quick to discount Nikki DiMolanta. Let's pump the brakes on the Nikki slander. But besides that, I think you're killing it.
Okay, so the reason why I wanted to reverse the order is because as of right now, as you can see, that this top number that's above the Den, the Swag, and the Stars, if they were to get knockouts in every single match that they have going forward, that would be their highest score. So Den would be at 52, Swag would be at 35, and the Stars would be at 47. The usual suspects' lowest score, that would be if they got knocked out in all of their matches, would be at 57. So that means that as of right now, if there's no new matches for these three factions, they're officially out of the points race. So as you can see by the graph. Now, of course, if there were like 5 regular matches in next month, which I don't think is going to happen with these 3 factions, it's still not enough because Corruption would have beaten them because of the math. I'm just going to sum it up that quickly. But moving on, let's move on to the Finstock Exchange. So the Finstock Exchange, I said that they were going to go into Spectacular with 58 points. And like I said before, they completely knock out my brackets because currently they are at 73 points. And I predict that they're going to be at 80 points, but I expect that they're going to be higher. I really think that they're going to actually, going into Spectacular, they're going to have maybe somewhere but maybe high 80s, maybe 90 points going into Spectacular. Next up, we have the Quirky Mercs. Last time I said that they'd be around the 88 point range going into Spectacular, but that didn't count Shazam and the Lightning Time match. So because of Shazam's win, that boosts up their score to 76 points. And my expectation going into Spectacular is at 96 points. And that's mostly because of Bibbs and Brendan. I think that they're going to actually continue on into the singles tournament and get points. With the Dungeon, I said that they would probably be going into Spectacular. They would be at 82 points. And currently they're at 76. And my expectation is bumped up a little bit. I do expect them to be around at the 85 point mark going into Spectacular. And finally at Corruption, originally I said that they were at 80. They were going to be somewhere around 88 points. Currently they're at 84 points. And because I think Mike is going to win, that's the only person left that's in the tournaments. They would be at 87 points. So even if Mike doesn't win, Mike is still going to go into Spectacular. Marisol is going into Spectacular, and they're going to get points later on. So I feel like they're getting close to their finishing mark going into Spectacular. But what do you think, Chris? Do you agree with me, or do you have a difference in opinion?
Of the factions towards the top, like those 4 factions intrigue the hell out of me because of who's left and where their positions are at going towards Spectacular, because that's a little bit over a month away, which is boggling my mind. Yeah. But I mean, I think Corruption, yeah, they got 2 guaranteed title matches at Spectacular, but Mike, and comparing him to the level of competition we have left in that singles tournament, that's going to be one rough road for him. I see a lot of success in the Finstock Exchange's future, just basing off what we've seen so far this tournament season. And the Quirky Mercs, you mentioned it, and I'm going to echo it. Don't sleep on Bibbs and Brendan Meyer. They had a very impressive win last night against Lightning Time, and I think it might have been ASG. He might post a question to the group in the chat, or somebody else in the Facebook group. But Shazam would be the best team ever. So, like statistically, and they may be record-wise by the end of their run. So, that Quirky Mercs, don't sleep on them. They may win the whole damn thing.
Yeah, I'm definitely not counting them out. But I think this is going to end up being a 4-horse race between Corruption, the Dungeon, Quirky Mercs, and the Finstock Exchange. I don't think, and this kind of goes along with if Janine wins against Mike, her next opponent is Dan Murrell. And even though I think Janine has the capability of being Mike, I don't think she can beat Dan. Just my personal opinion. And I think that's why the Stars are going to stay where they're at. But unfortunately, I do have to give the bad news to Roxy Stryer. It seems like I give her bad news every week. Roxy, what do you think about my numbers?
You had the sexiest numbers by far.
Yeah.
Word.
Yeah. I dreamt about them again last night, but that's an entirely different story for an entirely
Oddly enough, I dreamt about Bibbs, meeting Bibbs for the first time. I wanted to throw that in there.
Interesting. Thank you very much for that segment of sexy numbers. Okay, guys, we're going to talk about the pay-per-view discussion here. Then we got Frenchie's Corner coming up, which will be a fun one. And then we're going to talk about there was another talking point that I've wanted to get to the last couple of weeks from Christian's Q&A a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, this pay-per-view match last night, Shazam versus Lightning Time. Am I the only one who thinks that Coy needs to get a yellow shirt with a lightning bolt that is half red and half blue?
Oh, yes. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Or have it be a different color than blue and red, maybe green to have that kind of family unit, from the movie.
Because I'm me, I'm just going to go ahead and say I like my idea better.
Well, okay.
That's just
nothing less.
Shazam is the real deal. I mean, they had been the real deal for a minute now, but Lightning Time was a lot like folks had Lightning Time besting Shazam, and for valid reason because of their run going into this and the teams that they beat to get to this Shazam match. But the Shazam, dude, they're good as hell, and they're the reason. Them and Andrew DiMolanta are the reason they're still in this.
Yeah, and to kind of echo what Jeremy said about, he said in the chat about Christian doesn't want to call Shazam the GOAT team because they haven't hit enough 5-pointers. That's what happened when you don't get that many 5-pointers because you're blowing out the team so much that you don't get to that question.
Yeah, to kind of bounce off of that, we did last week we did a segment about the Finsa dossier, and 50 now again on paper, 5-pointer when they got the 5-pointer questions right was 50%, but out of those times they've only needed to go their 5-pointer 6 times. So it's like, I mean, and actually seeing the whole graph that I had with I think the average round 1 was about 16 points. Their average round 2 was about 16 points. Their entire vertex circle was almost completely circle. There was like maybe only a few places where it was weak. So I have to say that, yeah, I kind of disagree with Christian on this, that they are the team to be up there on the pedestal.
I just still like the fact that I was straight up to Dan, like, just because I'm me, I like my idea better.
Yeah.
Apples.
Their match against the Otter couple earlier this year, to me, is when I think a lot of people started having that conversation that is Shazam like that the best team ever? And Dan, you would probably know this better than me, but like statistically, I think they are. And like they've done their spectacular matches aside, I know they like to lose the spectacular, but if they best whoever the hell comes out of the teams tournament this year, we got to really start giving them their flowers as the top team the Schmoedown's ever seen.
Yeah,
and you look at sorry.
Yeah, that's going to be one of my topics that I'm going to choose because I have the Finstock dossier right here, and I could literally make a presentation on maybe some of the top ranking teams. So it's very easy. I just got to do it. So there'll probably be a future topic down the line, like who are the top 5 teams that have ever played the Schmoedown, and I guarantee you that Shazam is up there.
And it's not like they do bad in those spectacular matches. You look at that match against the Odd Couple, they got, I mean, no offense to the question writers, but they got one of the hardest 2-pointers of all time. And then, a very difficult 5, and that's what happened. They had a huge lead going into that final round. So, and what we thought was going to be the equalizer because it was with corruption was the speed round. And nope, they 5, either they got it right or Lightning Time got it wrong. So that was a full sweep in the speed round.
For me, the betting round was when I kind of called it because it was a complete 6-point swing. And if you were actually to keep up with them, that would be a little bit different. But for me, the betting round is when it was called for me. It's like, okay, Shazam was going to win this match pretty easily because of the statistics that I did the prior week. So I just feel that, yeah, I think Shazam should be talked about as part of the GOATS team for the Schmoedown.
Hey, did anyone else think that there was something off about this match? I'm not sure the exact word, but the words that come to mind that it could possibly be was it came off to me as awkward or goofy or silly, or there was something about it that didn't feel like a typical in-studio Schmoedown match. It felt uncomfortable to me for some reason. Am I the only one? I can't articulate exactly how I felt, but just something felt off about it.
Was it the lack of the crowd, or?
I don't think so. No,
Was it the entrance?
No. It just okay, and I don't even know if this is the best way to describe it, but maybe. Well, I don't even know if the only thing I can think of is like maybe they were having too much of a good time, if that makes sense. Like, I guess in other words, I wouldn't let I don't know, but I'm just saying if I were a manager of a fighter or a team or something, I wouldn't want my player hanging out and socializing and having a good time with their opponent before a match. And it seemed to me like they came into this match like as if they had all just got done hanging out together in the back room, and that great good time, which is awesome. I'm not, but it like that great good time and whatever. Yes, thank you. It bled out into the performance. So I could be completely off because
now I know what you're saying. It's when you have a face versus a face, that becomes a problem because then there's no antagonizer.
Right.
So
maybe that's it. Maybe like I said, I can't exactly pinpoint what it is, but just something fell off. That might be it.
Yeah. So when you have a face versus a face, you gotta make it so, but we really want the championship, and instead, if you're being a little too cordial, it just doesn't feel as competitive, or you could have that kind of maybe feeling about it.
Yeah,
personally, I thought it was fine because we've heard from the background that the Schmoedown has been really intense. Like you have to be really intense to perform this run. It was actually kind of a little bit of a refresher just to have let's just have a little bit of fun. It's not. I'm not saying it's a good thing or a bad thing. It's just it was nice to see everyone involved just having a good time.
Yeah,
that's kind of what it is.
Fun. I enjoyed that they're having fun. I'm not trying to be killjoy.
Yeah,
I'm just something, like I said, just something felt a little off, and the only thing I could compare it to is two rivals hanging out before the big game, and then that bleeds out on the field, and they're hugging each other as they're playing, and it's what are you doing, dude? You're supposed to be going for the, it's like the Braves and the Astros going out there going, oh, dude, you got me, man. Fuck, that was a great pitch, dude. Shit, you got me, bro.
There's a way to do it in respect, it's our competitor, a bit like Paulo and Creed in the second one, right? They respect the shit out of each other. They don't hate each other, but they're still good guys, and good guys can fight when there's respect and mutual agreement that the other one's as good as you.
Yeah.
And this whole season's been nothing but competitive. We got to get the points. We got to win the matches. Screw you, F you. It's been nothing but that all season. So to get matches like this, like how the Schmoedown used to be, where it was just chuckle, fun. Then it's not. It's gonna be a hard transition.
Yeah.
And I think this is just the inkling into what we're gonna get next year.
Yeah, I had the same issue with the IG tournament finals last year between Chance and Mike. Is that it's good to have fun matches, but when it's a tournament final, when it's a title match, then you should have it feel like a title match instead of maybe one of those fun matches, in my opinion. But there is room for those fun matches. But once you're at this stage, you should have that intensity. Kind of.
Yeah, it was a good time, though. Very good time. But yes, that was the pay-per-view match. Shazam maintaining that title. So everyone, they had the title. Yeah, sometimes I space out, dude. But it is time now for Frenchie's Corner, everybody. I'm excited for this one. I say it every time, but I really do think I'm going to win this time. Frenchie, get out here, buddy.
Hello.
Hey, what's up, my man?
Not much, you.
Not much, man. I'm stoked about this one. What are we debating today?
All right. Well, give me a quick second. Do not have the mouse today. And should or would Lightning Time break up for next season? All right. I'll actually let you start because I know you have strong opinions about this.
Well, and I'm hitting this from a specific point of view. Okay, so bear with me here.
I bear.
Grrr,
Not what I meant, but okay, Jay. Go.
Rar. Okay, so where I'm coming from is I'm working under the assumption that the roster's cut down to 5, and that if I'm Sam, I'm in his position and I'm running the suspects, I'm going to have 5 people off my current roster that I'm going to keep for next season. That's how I'm approaching it. So if you want to, when I'm done, you can tell me why I'm wrong. But based on that, and based on the current roster, I would keep Ethan, Irwin, and Paige both to play in the singles. You can't drop Amadou Moses. You can't do it, dude. So there's my Inner Geekdom player. I'm definitely keeping Nikki DiMolanta as my Star Wars player. And I will say that given the performance the Untouchables made, which was very impressive, I think. You've already got Paige anyway. I'm going to keep McWeeny to be on to represent in the teams with Paige. So that's my argument as to sadly why they should break up.
Perfect. You didn't think out of the bounds, did you? When I said Lightning Time break up, I didn't say stay with their own current faction. You could have or find ways to be on the same faction and be on a team. So I say yes. And this is simply why. No, not loophole. That was the question. You tied yourself down to that one perspective. That being said, for me, Lightning Time has 2 things going for them. They have natural chemistry because of years of friendship, and from match 1, not match 2 or like the King Arthur, they're getting into it. But match 1, they already over that step. And are they shaky a bit? Yes, for the pay-per-view, yeah. But does it mean that just because they failed, they're never going to be together or they shouldn't be together? That's what failure is. And I think it's the type of team they're going to communicate and learn the game better and play better together more and more. Second reason, very important. The teams that are supposedly breaking up right now are the teams that the fans are not liking or not vibing with most. They are vibing with Lightning Time. This is, instead of saying, oh, they got KO'd, it's over, it's what can we make of this journey? If they get better, this is a hell of a story point in their journey. So yes, they should keep together because they can be on another faction if the manager realizes what they need to do, either trade or draft them or whatever, how it's going to work. But they can find ways.
I understand what you're saying. And if I'm working under the assumption that there's a good chance that they could stay together and go somewhere else, wherever they are, that they could stay together, then I would agree with you. But I honestly am not working under that assumption. That's very hard to keep a team together under these circumstances when there's not a draft. Well, we don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure we know there's not a draft. Look, I think it's going to be difficult, dude. And I'm still looking at it from that point of view of like, I've got this roster now that I know is awesome. I'm going to keep the 5 players that on my current roster because I'm familiar with them. I've built rapport with them, and I mean, like, Paige is someone I'm not giving up. Not only because she's a good player, but her training and coaching support of her team. I'm not. That's just I'm locked in there, dude.
And what I'm saying is, you're saying it's difficult and probably not likely, but I'm saying. You have 2 heavyweights. Liz Shannon Miller is a team player, but when she's on a team and it works well, they work very well. They get answers and they communicate. That is a gem of a quality to have that kind of team floating around. You can bet that one of the managers is trying. Hell, if it's a Finstock, he's crazy brain enough to try to find something because he needs people to get replaced, right? So you need a foundation for the rookies going forward as well. So what I'm saying is there is a better chance than most people think. Anyways, enough about us. Let's see what arguments hit what people here and see who won, okay?
Yep, sounds good to me.
All right. Okay, I am so slow. Good Lord.
It's all right. It's those fat French fingers. Ladies love them.
All right, so I kind of agree with Frenchie because for me personally, as much as I love Paige Rebay, and I think she is an asset to the Usual Suspects, I just don't personally feel that the Untouchables are a good team. It just feels like Drew McWeeny has lost that reputation he had with Sam. So I feel like putting Lightning Time together, especially with they've had a better season than Untouchables, considering that they've won matches, whereas Untouchables didn't even advance in the teams tournament. And I will say this, Paige Rebay, as much as I love Paige, she did kind of get lucky with Ben Bateman and her match in the singles tournament. So I feel if anyone's got to go, I would say, yeah, that's my opinion. I still feel that we should keep Lightning Time together.
I mean, if you think about it, let's just look at this season. They beat Danger Zone. They beat Deception. They beat Final Exam. Those, excluding Shazam, which, as we were talking about, they're, no pun intended, untouchable. So, like, how many teams are you going to break up because they can't beat Shazam? Like, it's just... It seems I'm not ready for it yet. They have too many marquee wins and too little time together for me to break them up.
Yeah.
Unless you absolutely, and I mean absolutely, have to break them up, don't do it. It'd be a mistake. It would be a mistake for them to break them up. Like, look at what Ace just said, and look at the competition. Final Exam, one of the better teams in the last couple of years. Danger Zone, on paper, one of the best teams in rocking right now. Yet I don't want to look at the record, and no, I'm not going to. And Deception,
they won a tournament,
right? They won the damn tournament.
And is it me, or if I'm a manager and they're the Usual Suspects are letting go, I'm after both of them. I don't care. Like,
right?
If you're working, let's say, in a trade system, like if you want new players, you have to trade them. Maybe that's what Christian has in mind. I don't know, but you have a trading system. Someone's going to go after them, both of them, for sure.
Yeah.
I would rather keep Untouchables and develop them than continue working with Lightning Time.
How much more can you develop Drew McWeeny, though?
Yeah.
Like, he's reached the top of the mountain, and look at how he's playing now in the Schmoedown.
They were good together. I don't put, and I don't mean this is just a term, I don't put as much stock in McWeeny in singles as I do when he's teamed up with the right person. And I think Paige could be the right.
I think if you're going to blow up the faction like that, I'd sooner team Ethan with Paige and see what happens than keep the Untouchables together. I don't like either of those options compared to Lightning Time, but
because like the special thing about is they're already built in connection.
Exactly.
So Paige, they would have to relearn, and I don't know. I find that he's the type of player that you kind of have to put him with someone familiar to make him feel at ease, and then he can go in a flow and not relearn the chemistry again. I don't think that's his shtick. He needs someone established that is a powerhouse and still learning the game, but you can see smart enough to next season to be even more elevated, which is Lich and Melo.
But they might have actually too much. Like, I'm not sure how much they balance each other out in terms of strengths and weaknesses. You know, it might be good to have that really, like, that's what the Untouchables tried to do, is you have that really knowledgeable player in Drew McWeeny with the new rookie with her knowledge and new stuff. Plus, you got that age gap. So that's why I was saying, like, her with Ethan would also be that similar thing, but Ethan's obviously a much better player than Drew McWeeny.
The one thing I will say, to use Jay Wade's his pit from the conversation, you keep Nikki DiMolanta as Star Wars. She's more than capable of holding her own in Star Wars. You keep Abenru Moses, one of the shining stars of Inner Geekdom right now,
for sure. And
you keep Lightning Time. You have two more than solid singles players, and they're great on the team together. And that's just 4. You have an open spot left. That could be anybody. That could be me. And they'll still do great, you know. And not good at movie trivia, they'll still be really damn good as a foursome.
One of the reasons I'm saying you can't get rid of Paige. She's too valuable to any faction she's on. And like I said, not just because she's a good player, but by all accounts, she is like an amazing coach and trainer and supporter of her faction mates. And that sometimes is far more valuable than the knowledge base that someone has and that kind of stuff. The right person can focus in someone who's a little bit lesser qualified, just to say, then, it just, you can't let Paige go, man. She's too high of an asset on many.
The thing with Paige, like, not only is she a great competitor, but she's also a fan. She's been watching this thing for a long time now, so she gets it. And she's a great personality, so like she's almost what you would want to help start up a faction or to be part of a faction. I totally understand that, Jay, and I agree with you. But like to wrap around back to the question, shall Anytime break up? Hell no, unless they absolutely have to.
Well, cool.
And we're not putting into question too. If Paige wants to stay in the same faction, she's ambitious. You like her character seems to be head on. Let's go. I want to improve more and more. And if the storyline or her feelings want to shake things up, that opens possibilities too.
Yeah, but see, like I said, I'm also looking at it from like I'm the manager perspective, and if I'm the manager, I don't care where you want to go. Well, I care to an extent. Because obviously we see it in sports all the time. If you got someone who's not happy where they are, they're not going to perform. They're going to bring everyone else down. It happens. But so to an extent, I would care. But for the most part, it's like, yo, I'm running the show here, man.
They're not under contract. They have to agree to stay,
Yeah. I'll listen to how you feel, and I'll tell you I'm sorry that you're upset with how I am doing things, but that's the end of it. Okay, that was a great Frenchie's Corner, guys. Thank you. Okay, like I said, I've been trying to get a couple topics in. We got one in last week from a Q&A that Christian did a couple weeks ago. He had made a statement here, and then I kind of made a little question off of it for us to just see where it goes. Per Christian, expect faction formations for season 9 to begin at this year's Spectacular, and almost the entire current Schmoedown roster will be at Spectacular. So what I want to get us kicked off with is, how many factions do we think there will be next season? But more importantly, who do we think will definitely be managing a faction next season? Dan, why don't you get us started?
Yeah, honestly, I think Adam Witt will eventually manage a faction next year, because it just seems like I know that the plot line is like he's kind of doing it behind Kaiser's back, but he just seems like he knows, especially with Star Wars, he knows when to jump in. He knows when to kind of throw in a challenge. And obviously he's a good player. He's actually played the game. He obviously hasn't had a win, but he plays the game and he knows a lot of movie knowledge. And I think that that's a valuable asset as a manager to be in for next season as a faction. But as far as anyone else, I really would like to hear what everyone else thinks.
Okay. Well, I'll start off with a little. I don't know if this is a hot take because I just spout opinions. But
which is fine.
People are always talking about like these factions are going to have 5 people, with the makeup that you said. And my opinion, or prediction, is that not every faction will have the full 5 people.
Okay.
So
faction, 3 people.
Some factions might not have an IG player. Some factions, like that kind of thing.
Okay.
Especially with and it sounds like we're doing away with faction points and all that stuff. We're just going to be grouped up. We're just going to be a bunch of groups. That's really what it is, which how the Schmoedown used to be. And I actually kind of missed that, where it wasn't, super like, oh my God, we need to play for the money at the end. Yeah.
So meaning, if I understand correctly, they want to make sure the rankings are based off a storyline and not off the actual performances we're taking away the UFC part almost.
Yes, we're
Yeah,
gonna.
but if they go that way, that's for sure.
It'll still have to incorporate record. If someone's going 5-0, then you got to get them a title shot. Like, and that's how it should be. I think that's how it used to be as well. It's been a minute since OG Schmoedown, but if you're having someone who, like right now, Rick Radis just ended his season 3-0, right? And like if he picks up another win going into next year, he hasn't lost the match yet. You got to give someone a title shot if they're having success, especially winning continuous matches.
Yeah.
At least just for that little bit.
Yeah.
But Jay, to answer your question, who's going to be returning? There are some obvious ones. Shannon, corruption will still be a thing.
Yeah.
I think Koi will still stick around, especially with the success Shazam is having. And if they continue that success through Spectacular, who else? Bobby Gucci, not that man ain't going anywhere.
I could be wrong, but I think Christian said at one point that the existing factions will remain, and then it's just a question of additional factions. So I agree with.
Hey, I'm sorry. I got to break in here. Guys, everybody. Our producer, Frenchie, has just informed me that the Jcast Network, we just hit 300 subs. So.
And again, we just want to thank you for all those who are listening, for all those who are always coming back. Ryan, my boy, I'm talking about you. Thank you so much for the support you've been giving us. We're exploding the last couple of months, and it is heartwarming. And also, we are aware of all the comments on Reddit, all the people supporting us on there too. We love you guys.
Yep. I apologize. ASG, please continue.
Okay, so I was saying that Adam obviously will be a manager. I think there will be another manager. I can't think of who right now that will divide the Finstock Exchange, because there's too many solid Finstock Exchange people, and I don't think they're gonna split off necessarily into other factions that are existing. I feel like there'll be the maybe Roka or something, but
Have
like
the Outlaws.
Yeah, where you have one faction where it can be like Barbarian being a team, and then you can still have the current faction with the King Arthur team.
I definitely think there's going to be a den still with Kate Mulligan. She's, I mean, one, you have to have a den. That's one of the oldest factions. That's like not having, no matter where they're located or who's managing, that's like not having a Yankees or not having a Red Sox. You don't do it. So no matter who's managing, the den will be around. But I definitely think Kate's going to, Kate is too valuable also to not have in the Schmoedown. Keep Swag. I would love to say yes, and I hope so, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Winston is someone who his other shows, like Blurs in the Hood and whatnot, that's growing, man. He and Jay Washington are doing great over there. And you know, I would love. I don't know. I don't.
He was my pick, and they were my pick for Faction and Manager of the Year last year. So I mean,
I guess I'm just thinking out loud that, for me, I like Winston so much that I would love it if he became too damn busy with acting and writing whatever he wants to do that he's works for in life. I would much rather him have to leave the Schmoedown and pursue that. So that's why a part of me's like, nah, no Swag, man. Let's kick him out of here and get him doing some good work that he's been working towards. So. But other than that, I mean, if he has the time to do it, I think, yeah, absolutely, this is going to be a Swag. I mean, drip, drip, baby. And we need to get the drip needs to come back, damn it.
But Swag, I think, will be the messiest in terms of how Christian doesn't want heels on face factions and vice versa. So Chandru's might need to go to a different faction. I don't know. And then, like, Ace will stay, Laura will go. I don't, like, this is just guessing, but.
So I think Chandra is going to end up leaving because I think that's what the storyline for me personally is that Chandra coming out and saying, Oyama said I could use his title shot. That's not true. And they're going to get into a fight, and then that's going to be Chandra's exit from Swag. That's what I agree.
Yeah. So
But
didn't
Dan,
Christian,
real quick, I'm sorry, Dan's been trying to say something, and I keep him off.
didn't Christian once say that he was doing away with faces and heels at one point?
No.
Never.
No,
I
I'm not
maybe
answering
I
that.
thought
I'm
I
just
was asking
like,
because
no.
I thought he said that at one point.
Oh, please, no.
I would be shocked.
Again,
maybe down the
maybe I'm
road.
wrong. I just thought I heard that.
Maybe down the road, but yeah, there has to be a natural progression to going more like into wrestling type of things. This is the way to do it. If that's the end goal, cool. But yeah, for me, what I wanted to talk about is should Ace stay with Swag? I wanted to talk about that fast because I think Swag should just reform completely, like change up the whole chemistry. So I really hope that Ace goes somewhere else and Winston gets someone that is maybe like a Barbarian. I don't know, something just to change it up, and someone maybe that needs a new rebranding or new like backup to what he offers. And hell, look what Barbarian did with Finn's Like Exchange. Like Jay, what he keeps saying, he's one of the key elements. Swag needs to do that again, so he might help them reconstruct the whole structure of the team.
I don't know.
And I want to echo something that Jay was saying earlier. Like, I think we're gonna see a lot of changes in the Schmoedown, at least over time, especially with all these folks, being in the business, and they hopefully are in these movies that they talk about in the Schmoedown one day. Same thing with with Winston, him trying to break into the television. All right, great. And I think if we don't see Winston next year, it'll be because of real life. To break down kayfabe for a second, that he got booked. And that's the worry with everybody. Mike Kalinowski, Griffey Nooms, all these folks who are part of the Schmoedown that are also trying to break into the business. Like, they may just one day not be a part of the Schmoedown anymore. But unless they're like David Del Rio and absolutely slaying it and doing both at the same time, But it depends. But we're going to see Shannon. We're going to see Winston. We're going to see Coy. Kaiser is definitely not going anywhere, Like, I think who you got right now managing is going to stick around. It's who you add. And I love the Adam Witt suggestion. I love the John Roca suggestion as well, having like Finstock 2.0. And by that, I mean having like just the same members on a different faction. That'd be rad.
Can you guys hear me? I think I have an issue.
Yeah.
No,
your mic was a little low for a second, but you're good now.
Roca announced his retirement, though. So according to him,
he's competing.
But that doesn't mean he's not going to manage. You can, like Sam Levine retired, but he came back as a manager.
I know your interview said otherwise, though.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Hold on. I want to reference my one-on-one with Roca when I specifically asked him, when you're done playing, is there anything specific that you would like to do in the Schmoedown other than competing to contribute? And without hesitation and right away, he said, yes, I want Christian's job. So, I mean, to me, that was and that show is not a kayfabe show. That's not character. Nothing is involved character there. And so I take everything he said to me in that bit at face value. And according to what he said there, he's not interested in anything other than bringing together the writing room, running all that kind of. I mean, he wants to run the Schmoedown. He didn't say he wants like Christian not to do it. I do want to emphasize here that he said if Christian ever needed to step away, then he would like to do Christian's job. So it wasn't like an attacking way, like I want his job, like I want him fired. It wasn't like that. But he wants Christian's job. He wants to run it. I don't think he would do anything other than that.
How about Ken managing again?
I didn't mean to cut you off like that. I just wanted to get that out while it was brought up.
Yeah, how about Ken Knapsack managing again?
I like that. I miss Ken. I miss seeing Ken in the Schmoedown. And he was, speaking of the Den, like OG Den, don't be giving me that face, Frenchie. Like, that's Ken Knapsack is part of the reason why, like, the characters are the reason why they are now. Like, Roca, Guy, Knapsack is up there alongside Grace Hancock. And if we're bringing back Grace, Ken's the next logical step. Not competing, but on camera personality.
I'm more happy with Ken at the desk, and I think the OG Den was more of race because Ken was actually managing corruption during Anarchy. So I feel like the original Den was more of grace than Ken. Ken just got participation points, in my opinion.
I think people sleep on Ken Knapsack's like his role, especially in earlier Schmoedown and bringing characters to life and storylines. People sleep on that.
He doesn't seem to want it. I don't think it's just storyline kayfabe. It's based out of something, and I kind of feel like he's like less involved the better.
He'll be the paycheck faction, based on last year.
But that's the thing. It's funny for a while, but it's kind of like Lon's character. It's cool at the first, and then things kind of feel real, right? And that's one of them that I don't know. It didn't work with the Jukes. He seemed to do it as a favor
because he picked up someone else's faction. Like,
yeah,
I think that's unfair.
I just don't feel the wanting of his part.
If he doesn't want to do it, he doesn't want to do it. Then
and that's
okay. I would just love to see Ken back, but if he doesn't want to, then by all means.
But I'm curious on why, because I didn't really like him as a manager. Why did you?
I love that when Ken was competing and when he was just a part of when he was just at the Collider tapings all the time. I think Ken just brought a different aspect because especially in early Schmoedown, there weren't too many characters around. Yeah, you had Roka, yeah, you had Team Action, but everybody else was just playing themselves, coming and doing movie trivia and getting pissed off when people were talking shit or when the heels were talking shit. Like I love that, and Ken was a part of that. Like whether he was with Corruption or he was with the Den. He was a wizard on the mic, or when he was calling matches, same thing. Ken brought a personality that the Schmoedown needed at the time. Now everyone's doing it, which is rad. But Ken hit different at the point at a point, especially in hindsight.
I you know what, I can't argue with that, especially if he touched you in that way. I guess I don't feel it because it didn't really vibe with me, but I get there is a big fan support for me. He's just like he's one of the OG ones, right? And it's fun to see the OG ones come back.
Right.
But again, like Aaron Connolly said, I don't know if this is true or not, but nicest way possible, Knapsack is too busy to care anymore, and that might be right.
All right.
Well, I think he was too busy.
I'm sorry. Hold on. I got to say this before I did the signal and Frenchie steamrolled right over me.
Sorry, I didn't see it.
I'm kidding, dude. I did do it and you did, but I don't care. But I keep forgetting and I keep reminding myself, so I've got to say it before I forget. I think what killed it for Knapsack as far as competing and managing and stuff is a very well-known moment that I have talked a lot about when a certain Brandon Baby Heel Hannah managed Knapsack, and he completely shit on Knapsack the entire team or the entire match, took him out of his game, and I think that was the last straw for Knapsack. I think that's why he was just like, screw it, man. But I mean, if we're talking about managers, I hear you, Brandon. He's telling me right there that he wants to manage too. So we can't forget about Baby Heel. And I want to say, for anyone who's not heard, the reason why I call Brandon Hannah Baby Heel Hannah, God's honest truth. When I first saw him in the Schmoedown, I thought he was Ben Bateman's little brother tagging along to the matches. God's honest truth. So, yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, I just wanted to add that I agree with Ken not being a manager the way managers are right now. But next year, it seems like we're going to go back into the manager realm where it's more about character and doing that kind of stuff. And I think Ken fits well in that aspect. I still think the biggest heel move of all time was Ken abandoning Rachel. So, so it's that character stuff and that fun stuff. So, yeah, I don't think he has the... whatever busy. I think he's too busy to really like help his players study and be that kind of manager, but that might not be what managers do anymore if Christian's kind of like rearranging things. So
Sure.
And just before, like, I want to give my final thought for those who are watching right now that missed it. Go back and check Gold Leader's interview. There's a little surprise for you guys.
Yes. Double D, you got a final thought for us before we wrap up?
Honestly, I was to say that I think Ken is better at the desk. I think that's where his personality shines the most. I get more entertainment value from that. And if we do go back, I would rather see him at the desk.
Valid.
Chris?
I cannot wait to see how the Schmoedown looks in 3 months. or less than that after Spectacular, or apparently at the end of Spectacular. It's gonna be very interesting to see who joins, who separates, and to me, as a corruption shill, the inevitable implosion of corruption fascinates the hell out of me.
Oh yeah. I'm looking forward to finding out everything that we can as soon as we can about next season. As far as Knapsack, I'm with the camp that he is best suited on the mic. I mean, you can't deny he's got a radio voice, which he still does a little bit of radio work, but he was on the radio before, so it makes perfect sense. But that's where I feel he's best suited. But yeah, guys, thank you very much for dude. Hannah, come on, man, please, dude. I'm just okay. So before we get out of here, guys, I just want to say thank you all so very much, dude.
Oh, baby hungry, baby hungry, baby hungry.
Baby,
you have to feed him some Shandrews, I think.
I love him so much. For the record, I really do like Brandon Hanna as a person. I like him a lot, man.
You like his hair.
He's a really good guy, man. I dig him. But okay, guys, thank y'all very much. That's it for Speaking of Schmoedown this week. Next week, I don't know. I'll plan something here within the next few days. I have no idea. No, actually, I do. Liam from Euroschmo will be guest co-hosting.
Whoa.
I'm not sure, but I'll figure it out, and we'll have fun. Maybe we'll get Kiwi Jess to stop by and yeah. We'll get her to say Wrecker. It's awesome when she says Wrecker, because like the Bad Batch Omega is a Kiwi voice actress, and so like she your Kiwi Frenchie from your channel, Jess, she says Wrecker just like Omega in the show Bad Batch. It's awesome, dude. I made her say it the other night. Well, I didn't make her.
I hate Omega.
Their show. It was cool. It was really cool. Yeah.
Finish gushing, sir. You finished gushing.
Okay. For real, though, guys, thank you very much for joining us this week. And until next week, everyone have a great and safe week.
Bonsoir.
You want to hear something funny? The mic wasn't on that whole time.
No way.
Yeah, for real.
Oh, wow.
So smooth.